Welcome back to a brand new episode. Today we have two goals in mind. I need to get my fireplace framed up in the center of this building here, and I need to get this place drywall. Now, I'm not the most efficient person when it comes to drywall, so I'm hoping that it goes good. But I can frame pretty good, so that fireplace should come out pretty cool. For those of you guys that may be new here, I bought a 1926 home, 99 years old, which is crazy to say, in a small rural town in the middle of nowhere. My goal with this place is to create a home away from home so my wife and kids can come out here with me in the summer, in the winter, and we can get lost and do stuff that we don't do in California. But the biggest part for me is building a place that my kids can walk into and know that their dad did every single bit that he could to make it nice. But like I said, today we're gonna focus on that fireplace framing right there. I've got a picture off of Amazon of what the actual fireplace RO should be, so we're gonna frame that thing out. But before we get into this video, please make sure to like it, subscribe down below, and if you have any questions about anything that I do throughout this build, just ask. Let's get to it. So I'm gonna do a quick little cleanup here in just a minute, but the way that this is gonna work, I have 25 inches that I need to go. So we'll be over to here. I have a stud direct to the side of it on both sides. We need 25 inches in the clear from here to here, from framing to framing. Once we put in that 1/2 inch drywall on this wall and on this wall, it's gonna neck that down to 24. My cabinet will slide right in. I'm probably gonna give it 24 1/8 just where I have a little wiggle room. We know that we need to be 25 inches from here to here. It's hard to write on this crap. And 25 from here to here. My cabinet is 24 inches deep, so I'm gonna come out 25 inches on my framing here. You know what? I'm going 26. I'll give it some depth. Now you're probably thinking it's hard to see. I'm thinking that too. So I'm just gonna cut 2 at 26. I'll put plates down. We've got our 2 26s. Well, I've got perfect backing there. I'm gonna be 25 over 2 at 25 1/8 is what I'm giving myself. And this will be the same right there. So that's the pop out. Cabinet, cabinet, pop out. Beautiful. That's where my joist was. 25 1/8. $25 1/8. Beautiful. We're 40 3/8. We're 40 3/8. That's that. So the way this is gonna look, 1.5 inches in, stud here, stud there, stud there. I'm gonna leave this overspanned. I'm not too worried about this. It is strictly cosmetic. Then we're gonna close in whatever RO we need across the face here. I need to look at my phone and see what the RO is in that fireplace. But in the meantime, I can get 1-2 studs cut with the top plate and get that taken care of. There's multiple different ways to frame walls once rake walls and stuff are done. So the right way to do it, in my opinion, is to cut each of these studs on the pitch of the roof, that 3 and 12 or 12 degrees. I just cut the first one and I cut it wrong. I cut it the same way these would be, so with a bevel when it's supposed to be on the square. So I think what I'm gonna do instead is just cut these square across and leave my plates flat. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. $40 1/8 all the way up. It's like we've done this a time or two. So I'm just gonna cut the same exact stud, 98 3/8 square, 4 more of them. That'll go here and here. The top plate will go on, and then we'll just basically cripple wall off the top of it for the center section. We'll just run that thing high and then rake wall it up to the center of the ridge. It'll all make sense in a minute, I promise. So you guys remember our California framing? The L we make with our studs. This is our corner, this is our backing. We're going to utilize that really anywhere with framing when you have a corner. 2 walls buttoned together like this. And the reason for it is this 3.5 plus 1.5 is now 5. So once this wall here butts into it, we have that 1.5 extra of backing. we're good to go. Now we'll put a top plate across there. We'll do the same thing on this side, frame in between. Done deal. Easy. Done deal. I'm gonna have to fasten the two top plates together, put them up top, and then shoot up into them, toenail them, because I can't get a gun up there. Look at that. Looks like we know what we're doing. Probably gonna screw this, honestly. Screw it in there, lock it, fix this. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. It's probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, if I had to say so myself. I'm looking at this right now. I want to explain something to you guys. So if you look at how high up this is compared to this and this, at this top plate height, we're only about a ½ inch lower than the ridge. What I'm gonna do to keep this so simple is frame this wall across the face here, just straight across, and then I'll take two little studs on top and just put them up. And what'll end up happening is we'll run the drywall across and it'll die right at the face of this here. And then we'll drywall this up and it'll just carry up into the other sheet. I don't have to cut this thing on a rake. I didn't really want to anyways. I'll cut two more studs for here. I'll cut the top plate. We'll line this thing, make it beautiful. I can then screw up into the ridge to lock it this way for support. And then I can just put some blocks up there as backing so that we can wrap up that top section and we'll be good. So you can see that moves around a good bit. I told you guys how I wanted to do this originally, but here's how I really want to do it. That is gonna be my ticket. It's gonna go a little something like this. I need to get it over to where it goes, obviously, but these will basically butt up. This will be my backing going up here. This is my backing for this to run into. I don't need anything along this side here, but this edge is gonna be essential for my drywall coming over and dying. My last rafter's here, and then it'll go to this. And it's gonna work out beautiful. I have nothing but faith in it. Now in construction, we have a lot of these specialty tools that do one thing really, really well. But what about a tool that can do a lot of things really, really well? Today I've got the 10-inch heavy-duty titanium-coated tradesman shears from Crescent Tools. These things right here are a must-have for anybody in the building world. Now you might be saying these are just a regular old pair of scissors, but if you look, the blades here run all the way to the backside through the handle, giving you twice the strength and 10 times the cutting power of a normal pair of shears. Now the titanium coated blades here are 3 times harder than steel, giving you a tool that's actually gonna last. Now it doesn't matter if you're cutting vinyl, plastic, cardboard, rope, maybe some wire, siding, or maybe using it for roofing. These little things will get the job done. Maybe we need to open up this strap. Now for a limited time, click the link in the description down below to get more information on the 10-inch heavy-duty titanium-coated tradesman shears. And thank you once again to Crescent Tools for sponsoring today's video. Back to building. That's it. Now that I'm happy with that, I'll put one more on the bottom. And that thing is locked. It ain't going nowhere. I'll do the same thing on this side. Now we've got both those in here. They're at the same plane here as we are here on our rafters, so those are good to go. My rough opening's ready to frame. This is locked in, it's not going anywhere. We're plumbed up on both sides per this mark. We know that both sides are good. I checked from here over to there to make sure my 25 1/8 was uniform. Both sides were set. That's a wrap. Now I want to show you guys why I vaulted this place. I am an inch shy of 6 foot. I like to say 7/8 shy because it sounds better. This little building, this little studio is huge inside. I can't touch the ceiling. I couldn't touch the ceiling if it was 8'1". Maybe. Let me see. Almost. But when the ceiling comes across flat at 8'1", it makes it feel so small in here. It makes it feel so tight, like it's all kind of caving in on you. When you vault it and bring the ceiling up and you have a chandelier hanging and you've got all this nice drywall, it's gonna look so big in here. It's awesome. I could jump on my bed. Probably not, okay, I'm not gonna say I'm not going to, but I need to figure out how big this rough opening is. Man, I wish people put better descriptions on their Amazon listings. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm gonna cut there. I'm gonna cut here. That seems pretty low. I'm gonna go up higher. I like that. Now I'm gonna go 1.5 inches up from there. Then I'm gonna go 17.5 for my RO, then 1.5 inches from there. That's gonna be that. We'll have one up under here. That should be 17.5. Yep, by the time it's done. I need another one at 33. Fireplaces have to be one of the most changed things during a construction project. I have framed the same fireplace in the same house like 4 different times. Multiple times too, not just once. I'm gonna put in 2 blocks here for my mantle, and I'm gonna put 2 blocks here for my television. And while the sun is still up and shining, we're gonna break it down and start drywalling. I'll start up here, work my way across, do the lids all the way through, and then shove the sheets up onto the walls. We'll be good to go. Never thought you guys would see me do drywall, I'm gonna be honest with you. A little bit different, outside of my typical realm, but we're doing it. So that's that. That is rock solid. We are finished. Like not just to the next step of fireplace framing, but we are done. We have it tied to our ridge. We have our backing for there. We have our backing over here. We need our backing in the front section still, which I'm just gonna use some of these blocks and blast them in. But really, we are right there. So what I'm gonna do now is go ahead and rock a good majority of this thing. At the time of filming this video right now, we just launched a video today. That video has now been up for about 6 hours, and you guys have ordered more t-shirts, more coffee than any other video that I've put out before. So I just want to say thank you guys, because I do appreciate that greatly. I have it on myself right now. I love it. It took a long time to come up with all of it and figure out the designs and stuff like that. I feel like it represents the trades pretty good, and I appreciate you guys rocking it. I really do. So now check it out. Before I go through and cover up everything all the way around me. I want to mark where all of the rafters land so I know exactly where I can screw. I try to prevent having any sort of shiners like I would up on a roof where I don't really care if I miss. I can just move it over and re-nail. I want to make sure that I'm not popping a bunch of holes in this. So before I go ahead and cut the first sheet, that 90 by 42 twice for both sides, I'm gonna go through and mark out on the floor every single stud. I'm gonna go up top and mark out every single rafter. Since we're 16 on center with our studs, every other rafter lands on a stud, and I could just pull layout, but this will help me out a ton. All right, that's all I can mark. So get this first one hung. Oh. Wish I had a platform ladder instead of this crap. My head is not flat. Oh. Oh. That's the plan. I'm so glad there's only 4 pieces of this to do. One sheet up, that was miserable. Cut the next one. The next one has a little leg on it, so I'll be able to shove it over there and hopefully not have it fall on top of me. Same exact thing on this side, hopefully smoother, 90.5. Let's go 90.25 on this one. I'm gonna go 44.5, I think. Or 44. 44 gives me an inch. So what that means is I need to take 4 inches off. I am determined for this to go better than the last one. How determined? Not exactly sure. But I just know I need to pick it up and put it in place. I'm gonna wake up in the morning and it's all gonna be on the floor. I'm just kidding, I hope not. Oh, you know, if I had to pick a different trade, sure wouldn't be drywall. We're not stopping, sun's still up. This one gets a little bit more complicated due to the fact that it's not only gonna run all the way over to here. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6. Okay, I think this one's shorter. That gives me some hope. I need as much of that right now as I can get. I don't know how the drywallers do it, but they like do that in a single pass and never stop walking. I don't know how. Sure, it gets easy after a while. You know, my career as a drywaller is not gonna last all that long, and I'm aware of that. What I'm hoping for is that my career lasts long enough for me to get this piece up here though. So that's why I've been putting these blocks in. I think I almost need to go into that corner, kind of work that. Nope, that was all I needed. Well, that was a struggle if I've ever seen one. I put this side of the sheet in first just because, and that was a bad idea. I ended up too tight on this side. So I had to cut that back. Well, that screw done stripped. Now that is a wrap on ceiling drywall. Everything is up. My shoulder hurts. 4 sheets, my shoulder hurts. Getting old sucks. The walls are a cakewalk. We just have 1 sheet, 2 sheets, 3 sheets, and 4 sheets. And we're done. Now I might not know how to hang drywall, but I do know the fundamentals and how it's supposed to go and how you're not supposed to do it. I'm gonna start this sheet back here in this corner. It's gonna run clear out to hopefully, let's see, 96. It's gonna break at 84.5 right here on this guy here. But what we want to try to avoid is our drywall stopping at the edge of our window or the edge of our doors. The reason behind that is you'll end up with cracking in your drywall on your seams right there and out of the corners. So think of it like shear panel. When we go to shear the outside of a building, we try to overlap those pieces onto the top and the bottom cripples. That way it kind of locks it and creates a diaphragm. We're gonna do the same thing with our drywall. So I'll run over to here and all the way back. That'll be our first piece. But before I do that, I need to grab some 2x6, put it on the inside there. We're gonna enclose that. Beauty. So now that we've got this piece in here, the weight's coming down from the roof above onto the top cripples through this flat piece here. Before, the only support we had was that 2x6 on the outside. So this on the inside now is going to create that box and really give it a strong head out. So now we're just gonna pull a number over to the California over there. We've got 84.25. We're gonna cut it 84.25. This one's gonna be easy. The walls are really easy. The hardest part about doing drywall is up there. The same way that we stagger our roof sheathing, we need to stagger our drywall as well. You don't want to railroad your seams going all the way down. While I might not be good at drywall, I still want to follow the best practice. So what I'm gonna do instead, this seam works out perfect for middle of building. I'm gonna take this sheet and split it in the middle of them, break it over here, break it over here. I'll screw it here in the center as well. That way our joint comes down, spreads out, and then goes down the sides. I am pretty close to taping. What I'm likely gonna do is wrap up everything except for the back wall portions. And the reason I say that is because if I get a single sheet of drywall and I cut it right down the middle perfectly, 24, those are 24 and 1/8 across once this drywall here is on the walls. So I can rock the rest of the fireplace, rock all this up here, and then I should be down to splitting 1 sheet, and we're done. We're gonna do a couple of these little drywall updates because I can't film in here at night when I'm drywalling because this light here somehow messes up my cameras, whether it's my iPhone, my GoPro, or the big camera. So I can't exactly show you guys what I'm doing, but I can explain it now that it's somewhat light outside. I taped all the corners in here, all the joints throughout here, every single joint. This side of the ridge is complete. Every screw is spotted and we're looking really, really good. I was about out of mud and knew that I wouldn't get that side of the room done last night. So I took and mudded the face of the fireplace. Now I'll see if I can get any of it to show through, but what we're doing is a basic like skip trowel. You have some minor imperfections in here from just the trowel running across the material. You have some low spots in here that create a texture, but overall it's an imperfect hand texture, which for me doing drywall, I need imperfect as much as I can get it. I think that's why I like that texture so much, because I know I can mess it up and it still comes out really nice. Basically what I have to do tonight is tape all this over here, and my plan is that I would like to coat the whole entire place tonight. I'm gonna tape this joint real quick. Let's talk about the different tapes that we use for drywall. So we have two different types of tape we're using. We have a paper tape that's gonna be used for all my corners. Makes a perfect 90. It's got a bend down the middle of it to where you can bend it into that 90-degree corner. And then this yellow one here is more of a mesh tape that you stick on the wall without applying mud, and then you mud over the top of it. That's what I use for all my straight joints. And then that's for all my corners. The corners, you have to pre-mud the whole entire thing, then apply that, mud over the top of it, clean it up nice and good all the way through. This yellow tape here, it's as simple as that. So now we'll take from here, I don't know if it's right, but I like doing all of my joints on the actual face and then doing my corner last where I can kind of float over everything. Now another thing here, a lot of drywallers use mud that they mix up themselves. I don't exactly know the difference between all of them. Obviously you have like some fast set mud that's like a 5-minute mud, 10-minute mud, etc. I'm too slow to want to do any of that. I will sit in here and take my sweet time all the way. So the mud that I'm using is just off the shelf Home Depot mud. I'll have a link for it in the description. Right up into that corner. And that's how it's done. Now when I go to mud the rest of the wall, I will coat over the top of that once again and really seal the thing up. But just my personal preference, the fiber tape for all of my wall joints, and then the traditional paper tape for all of my corners. Now the hardest thing for me on this project, because I haven't done it before, was the transition from the wall up to the ceiling on a 3-in-12 vault. That was new, so that took me a little bit of time, that joint all the way through there. It's the same exact process as doing that corner though. Mud the thing all the way through, set your tape up there, but instead of a 90 to 74 degree, a little different. Made it work though. Check back in with you guys tomorrow, see how this place is looking. Hopefully, we're taped up and good to go. Now that is gonna be a wrap. We are finally complete with drywall and I'm happy with it. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the cleanest, but it's an imperfect, perfect texture. There's so many things going on with it that you can't really tell what was intentional and what wasn't. Ideally, all of the joints of the drywall hide. Our corners look nice and crisp. Our screw holes are all gone. And the texture is literally just done with a pool trowel. Scraping texture across the wall, occasionally getting a little sliver of it that's missing. It's a negative space. Over the years, I've found that I enjoy this texture much more than, say, like a knockdown or an orange peel. So it's kind of just what I do on everything. I will say though, after doing the drywall in this space, I think I'm gonna hang the house, but I'm gonna have somebody else tape it. It's just too big of a project for me to want to take on. I've got a guy a couple hours north of me that's willing to come down and take care of the house, tape it all, do all my joints, get the texture the way that I want it. And chances are his corners will be crisper, everything will be finished a little bit better, and that's kind of what we're after. In the case that I were ever to sell this place and somebody walks in and looks at the walls and goes, who textured this thing? I'm gonna feel kind of bad. So I'd rather have a professional come in, take care of that. But this place is wrapped up. If you guys have any questions whatsoever about any of the work we did here, please just let me know down in the comments. I'm looking forward to showing you guys the end of this place. We are getting very, very close. The best part is once this is all through, we are moving right into the house and going full steam ahead, demoing everything and rebuilding new. It's gonna be exciting. I would show you guys the rest of the room here, but chances are it's gonna spoil a thing or two. So you'll just have to wait and see. But I appreciate you guys for watching yet another video. Drywall is really not my thing, but we made it happen. I'll see you guys next time.